Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Hayward. For those that may not know me, I work in the community engagement team at the council. Welcome to the interagency meeting. We will be going around the room asking for everyone's updates today in the normal fashion. Please feel free to use the chat facility to exchange details, and if you want to put your name and organization in there, it just gives me a reference to who you are in case I don't know you. Just really to say we're recording the session and we'll put that onto our YouTube channel afterwards, so anyone that could make the session today will be able to view that. And I just want to check, does anyone need to leave early at all, because I can come to you first if that's the case. I've got Joy and Millie, is that right? Yeah, okay, brilliant. Okay, well, we're nearly.
Oh, sorry, I have to leave early as well, about half past.
Okay, Hannah, no problem. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Okay, lovely. Okay, without further ado then, because it's nearly 5 past, I think we'll get started. A few more people, I think, just coming in as we get started. Normal process is we go around the screen, give a little update about what's been happening in your organisation and any key points that you want to share. And then if there's any questions after each person has spoke, please sort of pop your hand up or pop them if you want to put them in the chat if you're more comfortable doing it that way. That's fine also. So should we start with Joy? Yeah, you're right in the corner meeting the screen, Joy, so we'll start with you.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. So I'm from the Hive Community Centre in Peasdown, St John, where we've been operating there now for about a year and 3 quarters. We took the building over from Baines. It used to be a youth centre. We do still do youth work from there, and we have a youth worker. But we've turned it into a community centre. So all the rooms that we have, including a large meeting room, an art room, a sports hall, an outside sports hall, 2 small meeting rooms, are all available for hire. We have the library and the local post office there, and we also have a cafe being run by Swallow Charity, which many of you may be familiar with. So I think one of the key things I want to say today is that as well as hiring the rooms, as well as doing the youth work, our other goal is to be helping and supporting the community wherever we can. And we have a food pantry operating from the Hive on a Friday. We are at capacity at the moment with a number of families that we can take, but if we know there are more families, we can put them on a waiting list, and then maybe we can up the amount of food that we get each week from Fair Share. If anybody doesn't know how that operates, families register with us for £3, and each week they come and they will get a bag of food according to the size of the family. They'll either pay £3 or £5 for the food, and it will usually last them 2 or 3 days. And the food comes from Fair Share, who many of you will have heard of, and they get food from supermarkets and food retailers that's at the end of its life but still edible. So it's also helping to reduce food waste. And we also have a community fridge, which we're just getting going. So this is very much down to us and our volunteers to find, to build a link with local supermarkets. And again, it's to take excess food that's coming to the end of its shelf life, but which is still edible. And that food is available to anybody in the community, because if people don't take it, it will be wasted. So those are 2 things that I wanted to highlight today. So if anybody has clients who might be in need of a food pantry or might be able to use the community fridge, then and they can get to the Hive in Peasdown, then they would be very welcome to come along.
Thank you, Joy. It sounds like you're really busy at the moment. One question that I've got for you is just around the Warm Spaces programme that's is kind of picking up a bit of momentum in Baines at the moment. And really, how much are you noticing new faces coming in that perhaps haven't accessed the hub before?
That's a little bit hard for me to answer. We have, our manager has run for the last 3 weeks a session on a Monday evening between 5 and 7, where a meal is available at £1 a head, and this was really aiming at families. So there would be toys available for young children, and we have a play area for tiny ones. There would also be a quiet space for children to do homework, but actually it's not been taken up. So we're going to postpone those now until the new year. It might be because the really cold weather hasn't kicked in yet. I don't know, but we were given a lot of food to provide the meals, and we're going to continue to do the meals and supply them on a takeaway basis. But the cafe is there. We've thought about whether we can make more of it. The problem with it is that if people are just coming to sit in the cafe, that's difficult for the cafe because they need to be continuing to sell throughout the day. So we've been considering whether we can find enough volunteers to maybe have a games afternoon, Scrabble, Monopoly, jigsaw puzzles, whatever people would like to do. But currently, we haven't got the volunteers to be able to do that. So we're still looking at that, and we might be doing it in the new year. Fab. But if people are reluctant to come to these kind of spaces, then there's not a lot we can do.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Josh, I can see you've got your hand up there.
I was just going to suggest that I'm running a similar warm space in Bath, and some of it takes time to start building that audience. My first couple of weeks, we only had 3 or 4 people, but last week we shot up to 10 who'd completely not been, but they'd heard about it from word of mouth. So I think some of these spaces might be a little bit of perseverance and wait for that to grow rather than scale back too soon, because I think, 1, the weather's just starting to get colder, and 2, most people will hear from word of mouth. A lot of people are still in that pride stage, which is what we found over the pandemic, if they don't want to admit that they need that help. But I think it's really important to keep going, because for me those numbers are starting to build, and I think it's waiting for people to find out and that sort of thing. And word of mouth takes a while to get around. I know that you've got a bit more of a defined community of Peas Down. It's a bit easier than working across the whole of Bath, but it does take time for those numbers to build up, and I think it's fair to assume that your first couple of weeks will be quiet.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate
it. Thank you, Josh. That's helpful.
Lovely, thank you, Joy. Okay, I'll come on to Hannah next. I know you said you need to go quite soon. So Hannah Wilkins.
Hi, hello, I'm Hannah. This is Will, our apprentice. We're from the SENDIAS service in Baines. So that's the Send Information and Support Service. We are legally based, and we support anyone with SEN who's going through the process maybe of getting an EHCP, having a relationship breakdown with schools, any children who have been suspended or permanently excluded from schools as well. We've got a big focus on at the moment around pupils who are unable to attend school due to emotionally based school avoidance, so any anxieties around school, and that means that their attendance is low or they're not able to attend school at all. So we've had a big influx of calls regarding that. So we are supporting a lot of parents with that after COVID. And obviously the social care and the SEN team are extremely busy as well at the moment. So we are supporting any parents off the back of that as well.
Lovely. Any questions at all for Hannah at all? I don't see any hands at the moment. If there's anything that comes to mind, you can always pop those in the chat. Moving on, Millie, I think you're next. Millie Carmichael.
Okay, there, I'm Marie and I work in the public health team. I recognise some people here. My focus is around food insecurity, so I coordinate the Affordable Food Network, so there are definitely people here who are on my mailing list. So yeah, anything really to do with community food and affordable food, so the pantries and food banks and community fridges and so on. Anyone who is involved with any of those kinds of things who isn't already engaged with me, I would very much encourage people to get in touch and join up with the network. So we meet monthly, currently online, but we're moving towards face-to-face meetings soon. We also have a group that's looking at income maximisation. So again, anyone who has who's working around supporting people with their financial well-being, again, please do get in touch and join up with that piece of work as well. We're currently doing some work with the Bath University to extend some research. We've already done qualitative research around the experience of food insecurity in Baines. We're extending that now and just starting another piece of work that's focused more on older people. So again, some of the organisations here may already have been contacted around that piece of work, but if you are working with older people who may be experiencing food insecurity in a number of different ways or levels, then again, please get in contact with me around that if you'd like to be involved with that piece of research. And so yeah, so we're connecting up with things like the warm spaces. A lot of members of the Affordable Food Network are also offering warm spaces in their organisations. And then yeah, there's a couple of things just around money. We're about to start a piece of work around illegal lending and kind of the debt associated with illegal lending and high interest legal lending, so Wonga payday loans, that kind of thing. So I may report back on that at a future meeting. And we also have a resource, a cash first leaflet, which basically gives all information in one leaflet about all of the places in Baines where you can access financial support. That is, again, people can get in contact with me. I can make sure that copies of that print copy is sent out to people. But if you are within the sort of baines.gov.uk kind of email addresses, then you can contact the post room directly and have those sent to you. So yeah, anything about food and money, really, get in touch with me. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Millie. Okay, next on my list, I've got Joanne Garbett. Are you there, Joanne?
Yes, I am. So I've just put my screen on.
Hello.
There we go. Hello there. I've not joined this meeting before, so thank you for the invite. I think a colleague of mine, Kangley, might have been previously. I missed the very first bit. Is it just a brief introduction?
Yeah. We generally spend a couple of minutes just really talking about what we're working on at the moment and what would be of interest, what you think would be of interest to others that are here. Just really a little bit about kind of your sort of key priorities, really.
Lovely, thank you. Yes, so I'm from the Stroke Association. So in the Bath area, we do have a coordinator service, and some of you might be aware of that. So we have a coordinator who is able to connect with somebody after they've had a stroke, and they get discharged from hospital, and they're able to provide some support to them at that point. We've also got two groups in the area. We've got the Bath Choir. I don't know if anyone knows of that one or come into contact with. We've got a Bath Aphasia Choir, and we've also got a group that meet in Bath and Keynsham as well. So we've got those groups which offer peer support. They're run by volunteers, so they offer, and anyone can be referred into those. Please just have a look on our website. So our main website is stroke.org.uk, and everything is listed on there. A couple additional services that we sort of run in are Here For You. Our Here For You is a service which is run to connect with people who have been affected by stroke. It's run by volunteers, but they offer a weekly phone call. So every week they will have a phone call from the same person, just connecting with them, usually for about half an hour or so. And we can run that over an 8-week period. Started during the whole pandemic and really sort of grown from there. There was still a need for the service, so we've carried on doing that. And again, all details are on the website. I'll also put my email down the bottom in the chat so that people have got that. So if you wanted to come back to me on that one. We've got things like our activity program is online as well. I appreciate some of these are online, so people can join that one as well. There's lots of activities for anyone who's been again affected by stroke. The other thing I was going to mention was about our helpline as well. So that again is open to everyone. So it's people who've had a stroke, people who are carers, but equally to professionals. So if you just wanted some information about stroke, then please just feel free to use the helpline. I'll pop in the chat now, our website, and I'll pop in there my email. So feel free to contact me, and I can definitely provide lots more information if that would be helpful.
Thank you, Joanne, and you're most welcome to join us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on then. Chris Essex, you got an update for us, Chris?
Hi there.
Hello.
Morning to everyone. I have joined before. I was just going to mention a couple of things that we're doing. I'm here representing Salford Community Association. We continue to provide support to local Ukrainians and their hosts. We still provide English lessons every Wednesday and Saturday morning at Salford Hall. We also provide a free drop-in cafe every Saturday morning for hosts and their guests. We will also be providing Christmas lunch to 50 hosts and their guests. And as we did back in May when we last did a big lunch for them all, we're asking our Ukrainian friends to make traditional Christmas desserts, and I hope they're as good as the ones they made previously back in May. This will be on a Saturday lunchtime, 17th of December, and I think every family that we know of in the Salford, Keynsham, Corston area are all coming except for one, which is great. We also provide Ukrainians with a welcome pack and provide hosts and their guests with anything they need once they've arrived. As well as the drop-in cafe I've just mentioned, we also will be launching a warm space every Monday morning, open to everyone to come along. And for some years now, we have provided monthly sessions for those on their own on a Sunday, and another monthly session on a Tuesday for retired people in the village. The first of those, for those on their own, is usually attended by around 20, and the retirement sessions are usually attended by around 50. And finally, I'll just mention we ran a jobs fair for the first time ever in around October this year, which we deemed to be successful with a lot of support from Baines and their agencies. And we have decided we will be running another one on the 25th of February next year, and we will start advertising that. I think that's probably about it from me.
Thank you, Chris. Just a very quick question from myself. It's just really about the numbers, really. Have you found that your numbers are quite stable now in the Salford area, or are they?
Yeah, we have. We haven't lost anybody in 3 months or so. We had 2 families who arrived, one who went back within a month of arriving because of a mother, sorry, within a week of arriving, because they had a grandparent who became ill, and then we had another family who went back after about a month for similar reasons, but that was probably 3 or 4 months ago. We have a family who are moving out from being hosted with a family in Salford to their own place, and we're looking at getting them set up at the moment. We also have a 4-bedroom house that we've completely furnished in Keynsham for the family of a girl who came over here initially on her own at the age of 14. And we have the grandparents of her due to arrive in mid-December to be hosted by another family within Salford. I have 1, possibly 2 people who are still considering or potentially interested in hosting in the village. and one of those is considering an approach I had from someone recently, but fairly static.
Thank you, Chris. That's really interesting. Okay, moving on. Next person I've got is Richard Burgess. Hi, Richard.
Hello, Mark, and good afternoon, everybody. He said in his radio station voice. So I do indeed run Summer Valley FM. It's a local radio station in North East Somerset, 8 miles due south of Bath or so. And I do want to say, before I start telling you how great we are, how uplifting it is to hear so many stories here. So well done, everybody. It's really nice to know what's going on in the voluntary sector and how important some of the work is. In terms of our little bit here, well, just following on from the Ukrainian stuff you were just talking about there, Chris, I interviewed a number of Ukrainian refugees at Kuro last week, and we broadcast that. And I see that as part of our job as a community radio station. So a number of people have already talked about warm spaces, and Live Well are aware of this as well, that every fortnight I interview one of the councillors from Baines, and we always end on the cost of living crisis. So we always give out the community wellbeing hub details. We always signpost to Live Well through the Baines website in terms of a map and in terms of places that are available across North East Somerset for warm spaces as well. So I don't do as much as all of you do on here, but if I can help advertise anything that you're doing at the moment, particularly on the cost of living crisis and support that's available, I've put my email in the text. Let me know. We will broadcast the details. I think that's enough now. That's far too much of me on my pedestal.
Thank you, Richard. Next on my screen I've got is Anne Doherty, is it? Or forgive me if I can't pronounce your name properly. Sorry.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
I can, yes, Anne, yeah.
I always have a bit of an issue when I'm on Zoom for some reason. It's Anne Doherty, but don't worry, I don't think anyone ever gets it right the first time. So I am a new member of the team at the Carers Centre in Bath. So I can see one of my colleagues is also on the call. So I expect she will also introduce herself and say what she does. But my role is as one of the support officers. So there's a little team of us that take calls and emails from carers and from professionals, asking all sorts of different questions about I guess their experience of caring, the support they might be looking for, things like that. I will say, Richard, I have been listening to a little broadcast from your station because one of our staff members actually has a show on there, I think it's a regular thing she does, and she was doing some interviews with carers. So I've been listening to that. So yeah, a little kind of plug back to you there for but yeah, I'm very new. I've only just really started taking calls on the support line at the end of last week. But I'm aware we are getting things kind of coming through from people that are, I guess, being impacted by the cost of living crisis, and what would already have been a struggle is becoming more of a struggle for them. So that's definitely something that's coming our way, and we're looking at where we can signpost people for support in and around the area. So yeah, that's me. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I may not be the expert given that I am, as I say, a new member of staff.
Well, welcome, Anne. And I think Helen's your colleague, isn't it? So should we follow on with Helen next?
Yeah, that's a very nice segue, Anne and Richard, because I was going to talk two things. One, to give another plug to the community. I think it's called Community Hour, and there is Janine, our colleague, somebody from Age UK, and I can't remember the third one, sorry. And they do a regular slot on a Thursday afternoon, 2 till 3, music and also some chat. I'm going to put the link in the chat because just last week they had a special hour to highlight Carers' Rights Day. And they were interviewing a carer and also one of my colleagues, or one of our colleagues at the Carers Centre. And there's some really good music alongside that. So it's something that you can put in the background and listen to or just sit down and just take a break from the laptop and just listen for a while. Really, really good service. So thanks, Richard, for that. As I say, I'll put the link in the chat so people can, they're all recorded, so you can go back and listen to previous ones. And then the second thing I was going to highlight is something that we're piloting with Three Valleys Primary Care Network. So I think probably you cover Three Valleys, Richard. Yeah, Three Valleys. We're piloting in January, 20th of January, at the Hive, actually, Joy. An open afternoon for carers. So this is a new mini project. We're going to do it a one-off and then evaluate it, and then hopefully it'll be something that will roll out amongst other primary care networks that we're working with across Baines, and it'll be like a little one-stop shop for carers, so they can come and get their blood pressure checked, they can come and do a little mindfulness session, they can register with a carers centre, they can get some on-the-spot sort of advice and guidance. So fingers crossed all the bits of the little puzzle come together. That's Friday the 20th of January, and we will be putting out some little adverts about it on social media, or go in our Care Time magazine, and anywhere else that I can think of. I don't think there's another of these meetings before January the 20th, so that's why I'm mentioning it now. I think one thing to say, Anne, is that the support line is open right the way through Christmas, not on the bank holidays, but we don't close down between Christmas and New Year. So people can still phone in on those non-bank holiday days. I think it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think that's right. Yeah. I think that's important, because sometimes everything sort of closes down between Christmas and New Year and people are left to their own devices, and sometimes that can mean total crisis. So yeah, again, pat on the back to everybody. It's so brilliant to see what else is going on in Baines, and thank you to Mark for this, hosting this regular catch-ups, really helpful. Okay, that's me. Thanks, you.
Helen. My pleasure. Okay, moving on. Chloe, I think you're next on my screen. Chloe Fletcher.
Hi there, everyone. Hi, nice
Hello.
to meet you all. I'm new to the Live Well team, very new. So Becky's on the call too, so I'm sure Becky will give you a really great catch up on everything. But I'm pretty sure you're all aware of Live Well Baines, web-based platform, resource, information for families and children, information for families with children of SEND, and information for adults to support them to live independently. Yeah, as I say, I'm new, so I'll let Becky give you all a catch up. It's really nice to meet you all, and it's really, really useful and interesting for me to hear about everything that's going on. There's so much going on in Baines, so yeah, really useful for me to be here, and nice to meet you. Thanks.
Thanks, Chloe. We'll move over to Becky then, because that's probably a good segue into you, Becky. You both work in the same area.
Perfect. Yeah. Hi. Thank you. Thanks, Chloe. So yeah, as Chloe's already mentioned, so we manage the Live Well Baines website, which you've all, I think, mentioned in part and passing, and the warm spaces and things. So what we wanted to do was just make sure everyone knew the amount of information that was on there, really. So if I just give a little bit of background just to make sure everyone's aware. So Live Well Baines is the website that houses the information for parents, carers, and people supporting children and young people with special educational needs and disabilities. So it is the Bath and North East Somerset's local offer for those families. So it says everything relating to the SEND world, the information signposting is on there. It also houses the information for adults living independent lives within Bath and North East Somerset. So everything from home adaptations to carer support to mental health support, bereavement. It's all sort of broken down into digestible chunks. There's a heck of a lot of information on there. We also have an adult self-help tool as well. So if someone needs support, but they're not quite sure where to start, we have a very simple form structure to follow through, answering very straightforward questions, and then at the end the system produces signposting to the relevant areas where they can find the support, and failing that, if that's not quite what they're looking for, they need to speak to someone, it signposts them off to the relevant team so they can make sure they're on their way to getting all they need. And it also houses the information for children, young people and families. So it houses Ofsted registered childcare. We have information about free school meals, the holiday activities and food programme, everything like that is all on there, easy to find. Or like I say, all broken down into age categories, digestible chunks, relevant to each individual need. So I recommend people have a look on that. I expect most of the organisations here are on there. I haven't heard anything yet that isn't on there. So well done, thank you. And make sure you keep your updated information there. But if there's anyone who you think you're not on there, or you just want to tweet your information, you're not sure how, get in touch with us and we can help you do that. The one thing to mention, of course, is the cost of living information. So we have a section on Live Well Baines now, dedicated to the cost of living. You can see it on the top bar, it's very clear to navigate to. Within there, we have a section with signposting to relevant services. So again, we've broken it up into the different areas of need, signposting off to either one of the directories on Live Well Baines, or if it's very specific, we're signposting out to services like the Welfare Support Service or Citizens Advice or the Carers Centre. We've got food support information, so we're signposting over to the food finder and the pantries and the banks, all that sort of stuff, all kind of compiled into one area. Again, if anyone thinks that their service would actually add real value to that area, please get in touch with us. You will be listed in there within the directories, but if there's something very specific you do that's really important, let us know and we'll make sure that it's really risen so it's easy for people to find. That's essentially what we want to make sure it is. And within the cost of living section as well is where the Warm Spaces directory lives. So Bath and North East Somerset Warm Spaces directory is hosted on Live Well Baines, so we manage it here, so me, Chloe, and our team leader Mel. So when an organisation registers their warm space, they'll fill in a short form online. It's very easy to do, again very easy to find on the website. It takes a couple of minutes to do. That form comes through to us, and then me and Chloe, depending on which day it comes through, we'll pick up that form, transfer it over to a different format and make sure it's listed on the directory. So it's pretty quick. The directory lists what you offer, any charges, where you are, bus routes nearby, all that sort of essential information that families need to know. We're quite widely promoting it at the moment. I'm sure you've seen it everywhere, the Warm Spaces thing. It's really interesting to hear about whether places are getting visitors and not. So it's, I can't remember who said it, but someone said that one of those things you possibly need to persevere with, because I think you're right. I think the weather is going to change soon, and people are probably making do at the moment. But just knowing that those places are out there and they can drop in at any time, it is really going to be really essential, I think. So. We promote it everywhere. We'd be very happy for you guys to promote it everywhere as well. I'll put all the links to everything that we've got that I've spoken about in the chat, so you've got it all there. We have promotional postcards we can send to you guys, so you can share them with people who visit us. We are planning to do a mail out later on this week, so chances are you're probably on that list. But if you want to make sure that we send you some, just drop us an email. I'll make sure you're on that list. Get either postcards. And if anyone has any questions at all, you can call us, contact us. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, is that okay?
Thank you, Becky. That's really helpful. I think, as I say, a lot of that information is going to become really, really useful for all of our hubs out there. Okay, I've got Kelly Vaughan Watkins next.
Hello. Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I'm from Bath College, so I am the curriculum manager for the English language school and the distance learning departments. With regards to the English language school, we've done a lot of work recently, obviously supporting a lot of people who've come from Ukraine into the community. So we're running a lot of additional English language courses, which are fully funded for anyone who fits into the eligibility requirements. Not only do we just run them in Bath College, but we've also opened up into Summer Valley as well. And we're looking at starting to deliver out in the community just to make things easier for people. I know there's a lot of issues with transport So if you're supporting anyone who fits into those categories and needs the English language lessons, let me know. I'll pop details in the chat. Other things we've got going on at the moment are surrounding getting adults back into work. So we're working with Department for Education to fund adult skills boot camps, which are all starting in January at Summer Valley. Designed with giving adults new skills to plug skills gap that the government have identified. So they're in welding, web development, BIM and CAD, electric motor vehicle, and environmental technologies, and all around they're all free courses for adults over 19, designed with upskilling. And just to introduce some of you probably know all this already, with the adult community learning, all of our free courses for people over the age of 19 who are earning less than £21,000 a year and live in the WECA area. Loads of stuff coming up for January. So there's the Prince's Trust, which is for young adults aged 18 to 25, 12-week course designed to build up their confidence and employability skills. Multiply, which is a new scheme to upskill adults with their maths, which is obviously something that if people don't know their pie from their bid maths, it's a really good scheme. Again, all these are free, running across the area as well: Twerton, Bath, Summer Valley. Swaps, which are 2-week intensive courses. One we've got coming up is admin. So it's a 2-week admin course with live job interviews at the end and construction swaps as well. And also it's Life Academy, which is a course to support people with employment skills, with motivation, and things like that. And a new scheme which is being developed is I can't remember the name off my head. It's a guy called Clive who's running it. It's just for men. So men who are out of work, low in confidence, or want to upskill, feeling a bit dead-ended in their job. There's going to be a new course designed just for those. So I'll put Clive's details in the chat. So if anyone is supporting someone, a man who is looking to kind of have a bit of a boost personally and economically, then that's a really good option for them as well. So as always, loads of options to support people back into work and socially as well.
Thanks, Kelly. And
I can carry on talking.
I was just going to ask, is there a sort of particular time of year that the next round of courses will be starting in the main, or do they start pretty much all the time? Have you got new things going on?
It's all the time. A lot of our courses are roll on, roll off. So with the English language school delivery, the Multiply, they're roll on, roll off, and the English and maths as well, like for the functional skills, people can join at any time throughout the year. Other courses will have specific start dates. So Prince's Trust is 3 times a year. But provision is ongoing, and generally learners won't have to wait too long until something comes up that's suitable for them, or whether it's, they just want something to engage them, whether it's, to come into an art course, a cook and eat course, a craft course. There'll be something just to sort of hold on to them and help build up that confidence before we can get them into more of an academic kind of route. We have a lot of really good options, and like I say, across Baines as well. So we can also fund childcare and travel if that's the only barrier to someone coming in and working with us.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. I'll put all the stuff in the chat. I'll put the website and things like that there as well.
That's lovely, Kelly. Thank you for that. Moving on then, Karen from Dorothy House. I think I've got you next.
Hello there. So this is my first visit, so I'm scribbling frantically, so thank you for that. My name's Kieran Bride. I am a volunteer coordinator and reach out and do community engagement in Bath and Keynsham. That's my patch. My colleague Nikki Kelly, she was here last time. So there's no real updates from me because I'm fairly new to the role. We've hit the ground walking around different areas of Bath, walking in and out of shops and finding out what people are up to and what's going on in that very tight locality. And we've had some fantastic outcomes from that, walking up and down Moorland Road, in and out of those shops. A lot of those shopkeepers are really well networked and they know what's going on locally. So that's been really good for us. We've been carrying on with our recruitment because we had a dip in numbers active in Bath and Keynsham after lockdown, and that's going really well. We're onboarding okay. I was hoping to every time I meet a new volunteer, I say, please bear with us, the DBS and all this sort of stuff takes time, but they're sticking with us, then they're not dropping out. So I'm really pleased. But we have found that if someone's volunteering for Dorothy House, the chances are they're volunteering for someone else as well. So we're starting to reach out and see who are they already volunteering with, and see if there's a bit of partnership working where we're sharing the resource of that single volunteer, which is fantastic. I'm just very interested in warm spaces. A lot of people talking about warm spaces, and recently I was talking to an organisation that were offering a warm space, and they said what surprised them was everyone thinks the warm spaces are just for the clients. They are open to people who are working from home or professionals who need a space to come and work as well. So I just wanted to put a shout out when anyone's talking about a warm space. Is it open to professionals? Because I'm out on the road most of the time and I'm often looking for somewhere warm. It's normally a coffee shop. So can I come to your warm space is basically my question. All right, that's me done. Thank you.
Thank you, Kieran. Does anyone have an answer for Kieran on that? Does anyone welcome people to pop in and do a bit of work in their warm spaces? Does anyone Joy?
Yes, I mean, we have a cafe. It's a very busy cafe and it's quite noisy as well with a lot of children, so it might not suit. But we have been thinking about home workers and them heating their homes, that we may soon start hiring out desk space for people to come and close the door and put coffee on in that room and everything. So watch this space.
Fab. Sounds good. Thank you, Joy. Okay, Becky from the 3SG. Hi, Becky.
Hi, Mark. Hi, everybody. It's been really interesting listening to you, actually. And again, I'm really interested in all the warm spaces conversations as well. So I'm director at Bath and North East Somerset Third Sector Group, otherwise known as 3SG. We're a membership network comprising of charities, community groups and social enterprise. And we support those charities and groups across the area to give them as much support as they need. So that can be one-to-ones, training, workshops, lots of events. We do all sorts of things. So I've popped our website in the chat for people to have a look at. We've been really busy, so we've been working to create a third sector survey. So we do this every year, and that helps us create a picture of the third sector for next year. So the things that will be most important going forward into 2023. And also the funders we know in the area also look to that sector to see where the need is. So it's actually, if you're an organisation, you don't need to be a member. It's really useful to fill that in just so we can create that picture across the area and the network. So I'll pop all this into the chat after I've stopped speaking. What else have we been doing? We've been doing lots in terms of Christmas. So we are working with Connect Bath. It used to be Bath Open Christmas, we've just rebranded. So we're doing a Christmas card project with them, and we're hoping to get Christmas cards out to vulnerable people that local schools have designed. So we've got a big day of sorting to do then. We are working on potentially helping alongside the West of England Rural Network and their village agents to help train volunteers that are manning warm spaces. So that's something that's currently being looked at, and we can update you on that. Just keep an eye on all of our socials and newsletters and things. So that's just sort of signposting and helping volunteers. And then we've also been doing lots of events. So we've done some work with the integrated care system. So we've been trying to share that information. It's a very big space, quite complicated. So we've been trying to share that with member organisations, and we recorded that so you can watch that back. Again, I'll try and find the link for that as well. And then in terms of events coming up, we've got a fundraising and communications network event, which is taking place this Thursday. That's at the Guildhall in Bath from 11 until 12:30. And then we also have our Christmas social, which is for members, and that is a week, Thursday the 8th of December between 4 and 6 p.m. So if there's anything you'd like to do, if you'd like to fill out the survey, if you'd like to become a member of 3SG, I'll pop all the details in the chat. And if anyone's got any questions, please pop them over to me as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Becky. I think Josh has got to go at 1, so I'll come to Josh next. Hi, Josh.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I just turned my camera back on. I was having my lunch when we started. I'm Josh. I work at the University of Bath. I'm head of community engagement. My role is all about kind of helping the university do more in the community, but also helping local community groups access the university, because we are quite a large organisation and it can sometimes be hard to know where to say hello to first and do what with. I think the main reason I'm here today is one, to hear about what everyone's up to and see where there's links and ways that we can work together, but kind of also to plug our warm space. So we're hosting a warm space every Wednesday afternoon in Oldfield Park, so right off Moreland Road. It's from 12:30 until 4:30. It's completely free to attend. We also provide a hot soup lunch and a afternoon tea with cake and coffee later on in the afternoon. We've got student groups doing different activities. We've got our Salsa Society doing a performance and a dance with our members this week, and then next week we've got Fine Arts Society. That's just the next 2 weeks that I can remember off the top of my head. We are intentionally not calling it a warm space because we don't want people to self-select out of pride. I found a lot over the pandemic that people waited until they were properly in crisis before coming forward because they didn't want to admit that they needed support. So we're very much branding it as an opportunity for people to come and participate with the university, join in some activities with students, do some intergenerational connectivity, and just get to know the university a bit better. I'm hoping that that gives people excuses to attend rather than to turn up and say, actually, I'm cold or I'm struggling. We're also making sure that we've got plenty of things to signpost people to. So if they do mention anything, we've got the referral line to the Wellbeing Centre, the Wellbeing Hub, as well as signposting to other warm spaces and activities that are happening across the area, so that we're not standing in isolation, that everyone knows that we're part of a wider network. I'm also supporting a handful of organisations to kind of coordinate their warm spaces, so that actually with the coordination group, we've managed to cover every day in Bath. So several organisations wanted to do something in the centre, and we've managed to kind of negotiate them all around so that we all cover different days, so that there shouldn't be that many gaps now in the city centre. I know that obviously doesn't help with people outside of the city centre, but we're more than happy for people to travel in. We can support and signpost how to get to us and things like that. That's kind of a very quick summary of me.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, Kimberly Kyler.
Oh.
Hello.
So I work for the Health and Wellbeing team at HCRG Care Group, and we support adults, families with children with various health and lifestyle related kind of programs. And we also work as part of the Community Wellbeing Hub, which is led by HCRG, but is also a kind of collaboration with the council and many kind of third sector organisations. So just want to do a quick update on that really. I think most of you probably know about the hub, but it provides that central place for those in BAMES to access a range of services to kind of improve their health and well-being. So things like debt and financial support, housing, access to food, mental well-being, employment, a range of things basically. But specifically, I want to mention the cost of living support available, because obviously it's affecting us all, but we know that people on the lowest incomes are going to be the hardest hit. So we offer a range of services that can support people, benefits advice, income maximisation, food provision, and supporting mental health and wellbeing. So we could, perhaps get support for them from the government, the local council, other funders to help pay for sort of essential items, bills, food, rent, that kind of thing. It's all done on an individual basis. We contact each person and kind of, it's a very holistic kind of way of doing it. We look at what their situation is, have that chat, and kind of can connect them with the people that they need. We also connect people to local food clubs and food banks, as well as advice on sort of healthy start vouchers for younger families and other financial assistance. We do also have a little update on our help packs. So help packs are for Patients who are discharged from hospital, helps to ease their transition back home. So it contains kind of a pack of food, essential toiletries, and we also offer a kind of a welfare call as they've come out of hospital within 24 hours, and also a follow-up call a week later and at the end of 28 days, just to make sure that they've got all the support they need to stop them going back into hospital, make sure they're recovering well. That is still ongoing, and anyone wanting to refer someone to that, as well as any of the above support, would now have, we've got a link for professionals, which I'll put in the chat box. So instead of having to call in, I will also put the number in there as well, but there is now a link that you can just fill out exactly what the situation is, hit send, and it'll come straight through to us to deal with. I think that's pretty much. Oh, I will say, actually, we've also got in the new year, one of my colleagues, Amy, she is putting together a kind of a slow cooker meal workshop type thing for people to drop in basically at the food pantries in the new year. So she'll just be there offering recipes and advice. So that's just a little added extra that should be happening in the new year. And that's
okay, thank you, Kimberly. Very clear. Okay, I've got Kirsty Langford.
Hi there, can you hear me? Hi.
We can, yeah. Hi, Kirsty.
I'm new to this as well. This is the first time I joined, so thank you for inviting me. I work for Bath and North East Somerset Council. I work for the Trading Standards team, and I was just hoping to be part of this group to connect with people to talk about scams. So to do with sort of the cost of living crisis, we're seeing a real increase in sort of cost of living scams, unfortunately. All sorts of things, from trying to sort of earn extra money, so investment scams, but also sort of text messages where people are receiving text to sort of claim, so I'm just going to turn my phone on mute, to claim or apply for the cost of living help, and a lot of these are sort of fake scams. So it's just trying to sort of connect with different groups so we can get the message out there. People might receive a text saying watch out for, you know, scammers sort of targeting cost of living payments, but obviously you don't need to apply for any of the cost of living payments, and you wouldn't get a text to your phone, but they're trying to get your details through a link. And payment will always be sent to people automatically, and they all these scammers, they never ask for, they always ask people personal details over the text message. So it's just really, if anyone, I've put my details in the chat box, if anyone wants to get sort of like updates on scams, or if you come across anyone that you think might have fallen victim to a scam, then I'd be more than happy to go and visit people in their homes and try and sort of help them, or just sort of spread the message, really.
Lovely, thank you, Casey. Okay, next on my list I've got Mel Mesa. Hi, Mel.
Hi everybody. Yeah, just for those that don't know me, I'm Mel Mesa, and I'm the coordinator for the BANES Children and Young People's Network. So we're a network of over 160 organisations. These are voluntary and community sector organisations that are working with and for children and young people in BANES. The network's hosted by Bath Area Play Project, and it is free, and it includes 3 key strands. One is a monthly e-bulletin, so we share news and resources and opportunities. We have quarterly face-to-face network meetings, and in fact our next one is in a couple of weeks, and I know Millie is joining us as a guest speaker at one of those meetings, so it's an opportunity for you to come and talk to the sector if you want to. And the third key strand is that we have representation of our sector on key strategic boards within BANES. But I wanted to let you know about a new initiative that the network's embarking on with School of Education at Bath Spa University. So Joshua, I will be in touch with you to follow this up as well. But we're starting what we're calling themed knowledge cafes. And we've invited our members to select to one of 3 themed knowledge cafes around early years, SEND and young people's wellbeing. And these cafes are being designed as an informal and relaxed space for our network members to share and discuss the challenges that they're facing within and under that particular theme that they're self-selected to. And they may be able to support each other with peer support around issues or knowledge that they need. But it's also to look at where there are gaps in knowledge. So the first sessions will be very much exploring about what people know and don't know. And these sessions, these cafes, are going to be co-hosted by myself and an academic at the university who works within that particular field. And the second sessions will be about actually starting to action plan about what can we do to generate any of those gaps in knowledge or create opportunities for sharing knowledge that the sector needs. So I wanted just to promote that. It's open to our members. So if you are a member and interested in joining, then get in touch with me. I'll put the details in the chat. If you know of people who might want to become members, or if you're not yet a member and would like to become a member and get involved in the cafes, again, please contact me and I can follow that up. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mel. Moving on, Brendan from Bath City Farm. Hi, Brendan.
Hi, good afternoon, and thanks for bearing with me whilst I've been up and about. I've been manning the office, eating my lunch. My first time at one of these meetings. Nice to see you all. And yeah, I guess some of you hopefully know Bath City Farm. I think it'd be nice to just update a little bit on our Roots to Work programme. So this is a programme we started in the last sort of 6 to 9 months, funded through West of England Combined Authority. We're providing people with opportunities to gain work experience via our new cafe, which is a new facility on our site, so people can gain experience in hospitality, using the till, making coffees and basic food preparation, this kind of thing, and getting certificates and things. And we've done some work with Bath College as well. They've come and taught some of those basic skills from here as well. So it's a funded program. If people want to refer in people who maybe experience a disadvantage, have been out of work for a long time, or consider themselves outside of the jobs market, then we can certainly help with that. We also provide courses in horticulture and site maintenance as well. As well as that, the farm runs all kinds of programs which are funded, which people can refer into, mainly supporting people with mental health, and we do a lot of work with people with learning disabilities as well, and we run programs for people from 0 to 5, 5 to 11, 11 to 18 and up. So yeah, there's really not anybody who couldn't participate in something at the farm. And so if you're interested at all, just please do come and have a chat with me. We've got our Christmas fair on December 3rd, which should be a nice fun day for families, local and from around the area. So please do promote it, and people are very welcome to come. We'll have Santa here, but there'll be lots of other activities as well. And then the final thing, I think, is just that we're running a crowdfunder at the moment. So a bit like everyone, we're experiencing increased costs in regard to our energy and food prices and looking after our animals and things. So we're trying to raise £30,000 to sort of help us plug a gap in our core funds, and we're about sort of 20 grand of the way there already. So but we've got a match funder now, so any donation will get doubled. So it's a really good opportunity for us as a charity, and we appreciate the support. So thank you.
Thanks, Brendan. You had quite a lot. You sound like quite a lot of busy office going on behind you there. Did everyone catch everything that Brendan said? Because I noticed there was a few bits that I was just struggling with a little bit there. So if you've got any questions for Brendan, if you pop those in the chat, if there was anything you missed there at all. But thank you for your update there. That was really helpful. I've got Dina Alzain next. Hi, Dina.
Hi, thank you, Mark, for organizing this event. I found it very useful. Thank you for that. Hi, everyone. My name is Dina. I'm a Community Engagement Officer at ACH. For the people who doesn't know ACH, we help integrate refugee and immigrant family into the UK carpet. I'm currently new to the role as well, but one of our projects we run is called MBS, which stands for Migrant Business Support. The program was successful. We provide one-to-one business and entrepreneurship support. and we provide them with the advice, the training, how they can set a product, e-commerce, marketing, and social media HR. And there are no limit cost for this program, and they can explore self-employability. We've been working with people from Afghan and Somali, Sudanese, Ukrainian refugee. And we were happy to see the success of the project in the ground. We already run some stalls on Bristol Christmas Market and Bath Market, which is they sell refugee and immigrant products. This is one part of our current project. Also, we're running a Himolo department, which is responsible for classes such as English, and also we're trying to link those classes, for example, English for business, so they can establish their business classes. And yeah, it would be amazing to be in touch with you or anyone who work with refugee and immigrant to signpost them to me. I will put my email in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina. Francis. Hello, Francis.
Hi. I think I've been to this before, but not for a little while. We kind of take it in turns. So I am here from We Hear You. Why? We are a charity based in Frome, and we offer free support to people affected by cancer and life-threatening conditions, so including carers and people who are bereaved. So we're already working with the Carer Centre as one of our venues and the Hive, and we work with Dorothy House on some projects. So a couple of people I've noticed in their faces. So we offer currently between 160 and 180 appointments a week to children and adults all across Baines, Somerset and Wiltshire. We've currently got around 200 people on our waiting list. So like everyone, funding and funding's low, demand is high. But we are responding to demand in areas including Baines, so we're putting on we've doubled our session offering in Bath at the moment because we've seen a big surge of referrals there, and we're also running a pilot with the IUH in Bath for trying to encourage more men to access the service and talk about their emotional well-being. So that's rolling on, and yeah, that's it really. I'm interested to hear what everyone's up to. It's really interesting to hear about all the warm spaces and offerings for people. I'm thinking about what we're offering in terms of our courses. It will be for 2023 now, but we'll be running our outdoor therapy course, which we run at Bath Skyline, and we're running our mindfulness courses throughout the year, and our first one in February is for people who are bereaved. But yeah, that's us. We are busy but happy to be here.
Lovely, thanks, Francis. I hope everyone is holding up there okay. It's about 1:05. We've got about 6 people left to speak, so we'll carry on if everyone's okay with that. I've got Julie Osborne next.
Hi, thank you. Like some other people on the call, this is my first time here. I am from the Alzheimer's Society. Although you may have heard of the Alzheimer's Society, we're a national charity, but we have a team of dementia support workers who cover the Bath and North East Somerset area. We receive the majority of our referrals through from the Rice Clinic, but we are a service where anybody can refer into us. Although we are called the Alzheimer's Society, it's important to note that we support anybody who's affected by any type of dementia. That can be the person who is diagnosed, or it can be their friends or relatives as well. The support workers provide their service on telephone, virtually on Zoom calls, and we can visit people face to face as well. The support service is not a hands-on support service. We provide information and advice about living with a diagnosis of dementia and about supporting somebody living with dementia. We help to educate people to better their understanding about dementia and why certain things may be happening in their situation. We also look at coping strategies, so making little changes that can actually make quite a big difference to somebody. So, you know, it's very person-centered, every situation is different, and we will help, you know, somebody to live a better life with their diagnosis. The other services that we have in the area, we provide a Singing for the Brain service in Weston, which is twice monthly. We also offer a carers information and support programme, which is a 5-week programme, 2 hours a week on Zoom, and it covers various topics associated with supporting somebody living with dementia. So yeah, that's our service. I can put my email address in the chat, so if anybody wants any more information or wants to know how to refer anybody to us, then they can email me. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Coming on next to Emily Malik from EcoWild.
Hi there. Hi, nice to meet you all. And just a quick update from EcoWild. We work across Bath and North East Somerset in living spaces or in spaces that have access to natural environment. And we run lots of wellbeing courses. Some are funded through grants, WECA and Quartet, and some through the Wellbeing College. So at the moment, we're working with the community farm at Chew Valley Lake as part of their growing wellbeing offer. And there's 3 different courses. So 3 days a week, people can be active, doing mindful activities or something that's connecting them to nature and to some awareness of their own emotional states and to other people. So it's for people who are self-managing, but possibly are experiencing some troubles in life or low to moderate mental health problems. We also work at Greyfield Woods in High Littleton, in Norton Radstock and Coombe Hay. So in the new year, there'll be a Nature's Respite course starting in the Biodynamic Vineyard at Coombe Hay. We always have really comfortable indoor space available. Well, when I say really comfortable, compared to being out in the wet woods, we always have somewhere that people can be dry, have a hot drink, have shelter. So it's a way of kind of really supporting people who could really benefit from a deepening nature connection, to be outdoors and active with others in a really gentle, person-centered way. So yeah, I think people can find out more through ecowild.org.uk. I'll leave it there because we've had many updates. Nice to hear from everyone.
Lovely, thank you, Emily. I've got a couple of people whose cameras aren't on, so hopefully you're still with us there. I've got Rachel Bonzer.
Hello.
Hello, Rachel.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name's Rachel, and I work for a charity called ARA Recovery for All, and we are your regional provider for any gambling harm treatment in the Southwest. Especially this time of year with things like the World Cup going on, a lot of people can be tempted to just sort of start gambling, or if they're in recovery, it can be quite a difficult time of year for them. And especially with the lead up to Christmas as well, a lot of people are sort of turning to gambling as a way to perhaps make a bit more money, especially with this sort of cost of living crisis at the moment, to try and have a bit more money for Christmas. So if you come across anyone in your line of work at all, even just mentions that they've perhaps started gambling and what their intentions are with it, and if their intentions are to make money rather than it be for a form of entertainment, then please feel free to have a look on our website or send us an email and get in touch just for some advice and support that we could offer. We also run free workshops. So I personally work on the youth programme. So I can go into schools or youth clubs, colleges, any youth setting at all, and deliver gambling and gaming harm prevention workshops. And I also deliver a version of that to youth-facing professionals as well. Again, it's all free. And we also have a few other workshops for professionals as well that we can run. So if you're interested in anything like that, please feel free to get in touch. I have popped my email address in the chat, but you might have to scroll back a little way to find it. We also offer support for affected others. So not just for the gambler themselves, but for every harmful gambler, there's an estimated 6 to 10 affected others who are directly impacted by that one person's harmful gambling. So we also offer a 6 to 10 project which supports affected others. So for example, if you had a partner that perhaps took out loans in your name, we can work with you to help get some of that debt written off if needed, as well as offering sort of counselling. It's a very sort of holistic approach. So yeah, if anyone wants any more information or wants to sort of work together on anything, then please feel free to get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Colin Emmerich.
Hi, everybody. I represent True Valley Library, which is one of 7 community libraries run throughout Baines. We always feel we're a little bit out on a spur in the True Valley, so we do what we can. We provide the usual library services that you would expect, but we also run a cafe in the chapel where the library is, because that's the only way we can fund it. We get all our books, etc., from Baines, but there's no financial support whatsoever. So we run the library. We run a cafe in the library. The library volunteers tend to do a lot of other things in the village. For instance, we ran a village-wide event for the Queen's Jubilee back in summer. We do a lot of extra things in the library that are not necessarily always available, children's craft things and so forth. Warm spaces is one of the reasons I've come on here today. I've been on this before, but I came on today to sort of pick up information about warm spaces. Like the Saltford group, I think it was the Saltford group, we're not advertising the warm spaces, but it's there. We have noticed, we've always had a group of pensioners who come in whenever it's open, and we've noticed an increase in that age group since the energy crisis. And I'm just looking for, where to direct people. I've got a whole list of notes here that come from various people. So yeah, that's basically me. True Valley Library. So if you want to do anything in the True Valley, come and see us.
Thanks, Colin. Very useful updates. I've got Councillor Jackson on the call. Did you have any update for us, Eleanor?
Sorry, I'm trying to turn the video on.
All right, we can hear you. There we go.
Right.
We can see you now as
Sorry
well.
about that. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, actually, because I think I'm the only ward councillor in all the list of people. So I don't know if you invited the other 58. It's, a ward councillor has to deal with all kinds of problems, but the ones I'm principally involved with are housing and homelessness. I'm on the planning committee, and health, and I'm quite disabled myself, and it's really brought home to me just how difficult life can be if you are disabled. So I've been very interested in everything which I've been hearing this morning. On the other hand, of course, you might have invited me along because of one of my other hats. And for example, on Christians Together in Radstock and Westfield, we've been discussing the whole issue of warm spaces. The problem is that most of our churches are not warm spaces and cost an awful lot to heat, even if they haven't had the heating vandalised, as has the case at St Nicholas's Church in Radstock. And our other issue that we've been taking very seriously, if we are going to open up more space, is safeguarding. You know, a flock of willing volunteers may not necessarily be all that they appear to be. So that's another matter that weighs on us. But the big project, of course, is Trinity Methodist Church Centre in the middle of Radstock, which Radstock Town Council are endeavouring to buy from the Methodist Church trustees with the support of Baines. And I mean, that was always a warm space for people because it had coffee on sale every morning of the week except Sunday. And if we reopen, I hope that some of those people who used to come in to keep warm long before COVID come back again. But the basic plan is to shift the town council offices and the library and associated staff into the church, and also keep running the facilities that something like 40 different community groups have been using for very many years. I think myself it's quite important on the question of warm spaces that it's not a warm space, by which I mean you don't go into somewhere labelled warm space. You go to get a cup of coffee in a nice social atmosphere, and if it's Westfield Methodist Church, it's a bacon butty, and so on, you know, that it's more of a club atmosphere. And I noticed that the food club that Radstock Town Council runs is, they more or less fight to get in. There are something like 35 families who are using it for a small sum each week. Whereas the food bank is not really being used very much at all. And of course, the other problem we've got is collecting goods for the food bank when people have got so little themselves. So it's not easier than Somer Valley, shall we say, but we are trying.
Well, it's really good to hear, Eleanor. Thank you very much. And yeah, I mean, any ward councillor are always welcome to come to the meetings if they want to find out what's going on. I mean, we mail out to everyone on our mailing list, and we get a different range of people every time. So it's always good to see people from different parts of the community joining us. Just to finish off, just a couple of quick points. Our next meeting will be next year, on the 24th of January is the date of the next meeting. We'll make sure we get some reminders of that date sent around nearer the time. Just to say that my colleagues have been working on the latest interagency bulletin, funding bulletin, and I think that has gone out this morning, so people will have access to a lot more information if you're on the mailing list for that. And just really thank you for everyone for everything you're doing and for coming along today. It's been, as always, really interesting to hear from everybody. And I just hope everyone manages to get some rest over the festive period. And I look forward to seeing a lot of your faces again next year. So I think I've got right. I just want to check. I haven't missed anyone. I've been scribbling away as I've gone down the list, and I think I've picked everybody up who's still here. So unless anyone's
have you picked up my point about could you circulate what's in the chat?
Of course,
something legible, please.
Yes, we'll have a transcript of all of that, so I'll make sure that that's all easy to follow. So that'll come out with a link, because there'll be a link for anyone that wants to pass the meeting details on to anyone who wants to watch it back as well.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everybody. And as I say, have a pleasant festive period. Bye.
Thank you. Happy Christmas, everybody.